Hi, very good morning and a warm welcome to the next session on JavaScript. In today's session, we are going to see about events in JavaScript and form validations and matching regular expressions. In the previous session, we have covered the topics functions in JavaScript and constructors in JavaScript. So in order to define a function in JavaScript, we use the function keyword, and in order to declare a constructor in JavaScript, we use the constructor keyword. Right? The people who don't understand how functions and constructors are defined in JavaScript and how they are executed in JavaScript, please have a look at the previous session, which was already uploaded in the YouTube channel of our college. Right? So in today's session, we are going to cover about events in HTML, matching regular expression, and validating forms by using JavaScript. Right? So let us start today's session with events in HTML. Right? We all know how to generate an event and how to handle an event in Java. But in today's class, we are going to see about how to handle the events in JavaScript. We have already worked with on-click attribute, which was one of the attributes of button tag, where by using on-click attribute, we can perform some action whenever a button is clicked over the web page, right? So let us see what are these HTML events, and let us see how these HTML events will work. So HTML event, a HTML event can be something the browser does or something a user does, right? So a HTML event means if any change is done by the browser or if any change is done by the user on a web page, then it is called as an event. So for example, on a web page, if there is any button, if an user make a click on that button, then it is called as an event. Simply, an event is called the change in the status of an object. So the change in the status of an object is called as an event. For example, initially, if there is button on a web page, the status of the button is unclicked. When someone make a click on that button, now the status of the button will be changed to clicked. So initially the status is unclicked, and when somebody make a click on that one, the status of the button will be changed to clicked. So the change in the status is called as an event. An example, a HTML web page has finished loading. So whenever you open a web page, that web page have to get the data from the server, and it has to load the entire data on our desktop. So it start retrieving the data from the server, and it will display the entire data of that web page over our desktop. So the completion of loading of a web page is also called as an event. A HTML input field was changed. For example, when you are trying to log in into your Gmail account or your Facebook account, there you need to provide username and password. So there you find one text field and one password field. In the text field, you enter your username, and in the password field, you enter your password. So initially, both the text field and password field are empty. So when you want to log in, you will enter some text in the text field, and you will enter your password in the password field. So the status of the input field is changed. Initially, it was empty, and when you want to log in, you will enter some data in text and password fields. So the status of the text field and password field will be changed. So it is also an event in HTML. And HTML allows event handler attributes with JavaScript code to be added to HTML elements. So there are some attributes which are used to handle the events in JavaScript. As I said earlier, if somebody makes a click on the button, I want an action to be performed. So I can use one attribute so that that attribute is responsible to perform an action when an event is occurred. So let us see the examples of attributes. So here are the two examples. There are many examples, but in this session I want to discuss only a couple or one attribute as an example. So onload and onClick. So onload, this particular attribute is used to load some web page when an action is performed, right? And on click. So this particular attribute is used along with the button. So when somebody makes a click on the button, and what is the action you want to perform on the web page will be given to this on click attribute. So when an user make a click on the button, so the action which was assigned to the on click will be performed on the web page. So let us have a look at one example on the on click. So this on click is already used for many of the examples in the previous sessions, right? So let us see this example which was already discussed in the previous sessions, right? So here, let us see from the starting. Here I have used an HTML document, sorry, HTML tag. Under HTML tag, I have defined a body tag. Just a second, I will explain a simple program than this one. Right, now see this one. HTML, there is under head tag. So under head tag, we have title. So the title of this web page will be document object. And then I have closed the title tag and head tag. After closing the head tag, I started the opening the body tag, right? Inside body tag, I have a h1 heading tag where it is having an attribute ID, and the ID name is demo, right? So the methods in document object will be displayed over the web page with the h1 size. And then I'm creating a button, right? Button where I'm attaching the button tag with an attribute called as on click. So this is what we are going to discuss today, on click. So when somebody makes a click on this button, so I want to execute a function called as my. So you can find my, which was displayed in the yellow color in the bottom, my, right? So there will be one button, and the name on that button will be click me. When a user make a click on this button, and that click will execute the function my, right? So on click means if somebody makes a click on a button, what is the action you want to perform will be assigned to this on-click attribute of button tag, right? So here is the code for this my function, right? So what you are going to do, you are going to select an element by ID, right? In the entire document, we are going to select an element by ID where the name of the ID is demo, right? And what I am going to do is I am going to change the inner HTML. I am going to change the inner HTML. So in place of this methods in document object, so the computer science and engineering text will be displayed. So when anyone makes a click on click me button, in place of methods in document object, computer science and engineering will be printed on the web page, right? So I'm going to delete these two things, right? So this is what will happen when somebody make a click on this click me button, right? So this is called as handling the event on buttons, right? So this is the program which we have already seen a couple of classes ago. Right now I want to open this. Uh, it was saved under the name devo.html. So let us see the output of this devo.html. So there is a text called as methods in document object. And if I make a click on this click me button, if you observe, it has been changed to computer science and engineering. So here we have handled an event on this button. So initially the status of the button is unclicked. And when I make a click on this button, there is something happened on the web page. So this is called as event handling, which is possible by using the attribute called as on click. And similarly, we can also do event handling by using on load. And there are some other attributes which can be used to do event handling in JavaScript. And now let us see. Let us see form validation. We all know forms. We all know how to create forms. So in the previous sessions, I think while we are dealing with the HTML, I have shown how to create a form in HTML. Form in the sense how to create a label, how to create a text field, how to create a password field, how to create radio buttons, checkboxes, scroll bars, etc. So all these things comes under forms. Now here we are going to do some validation over the form. Generally what will happen is when you enter some data in the form elements, that data will be sent to the server. That data will be verified and matched with the old credentials. And if everything is okay, then the server will allow the web browser or the person to get login, right? So here in the form validation, what we are going to do is instead of checking with the server, we just verify from the client side, and if everything from the client side is okay, then we send the data to the server. For example, in the form, it is asking for mobile number, and we all know that the mobile number will contain 10 digits. So if somebody has entered only 9 or 8 digits because of some typographical mistake, that is typing mistake, then instead of sending that 8 numbers to the server, instead of verifying that 8 numbers with the server, and then instead of getting reply from the server that the number is incorrect, we just verify that the number is incorrect from our client side. And for example, if the form is asking to enter name, we all know that the name I'm sorry, I was just disconnected from the net. Right. So Form validation is a process of verifying whether the data provided by the user using an HTML form is as we expect it. That is, if we want to ask the user to enter the phone number, then it should be 10 digits. If you want to ask the user to enter the date of birth, then it must and should contain date, month, and year. And when we want to ask the user to enter mail ID, then at the end of the mail ID, there we will have at the rate of gmail.com or at the rate of outlook.com or at the rate of yahoo.com. So there we have some basic things for each and every thing. So here form validation in the sense we are going to verify the data which was provided by the user on the HTML form itself. We are not going to send the data. So that will take a lot of time, that will consume a lot of resources. Instead of doing all this waste process, we just verify the data from the HTML site. And if everything is okay, then only we send the data to the server. Then the server will verify the credentials are correct or not, right? So the form validation process typically consists of two parts. So here the form validation is divided into two parts. The name of the first part of form validation is the required fields validation. And the second part is data format validation. So there are two parts of this form validation, required field validation and data format validation. So let us have a look at the required fields validation. So which is performed to make sure that all the mandatory fields are filled in. So when we are trying to fill an application, whether it is an examination application or a passport application or any other application, there will be some fields which are marked with the star symbol, which states that those all fields are mandate. So that every user need to fill all those fields. So here, this is the first part which will verify whether all the mandatory fields are filled by the user or not, right? And the second part, so all the mandatory fields are filled by the user, but what is the data inside that mandatory fields? Whether it is a valid data or not. For example, the form is asking for the phone number and the user had entered some characters, but inside the phone number, we must and should have some numerics. Phone number will not be in characters, phone number will be in the numerics. So that is called as data format validation. So the first thing is whether the user entered all the mandatory fields, whether the user filled all the mandatory fields. And the second thing is, what is the data which was filled in those fields, whether it is a valid data or not valid data, right? So this data format validation, which is performed to ensure that the type and format of data entered in the form is valid or not, right? So these are the two parts of form validation, right? Most of the web developers prefer JavaScript for form validation. So it is very easy. JavaScript form validation is very easy. I will show an example on this, how we can validate a form. I will show an example. It is very easy. So most of the web developers will use this JavaScript for form validation. There are many languages which support form validation, but among all those languages, this JavaScript is very simple to learn and it will perform the form validation 100%. Right? So now the next topic is regular expression. But before going to see a regular expression, let us see one example on form validation, how we can create a form and how we can validate the data inside the form and how we can check whether all the fields are mandate fields are filled not in the form, right? So let us move to the program. Here I have copied a program from the internet. I have copied this program from the internet. So just see how we can create a form and how we can validate a form in this program. So I have started here with the HTML tag, and I started with the script tag. So that means I'm going to write some JavaScript code. Here I have defined a function, right, where the name of the function is validate form. Validate form. What this function will do is, right, let us see the body of the function. Inside the body of the function, I have defined a variable with the var keyword, and the name of the variable is name, right, where this name will get I am assigning something for the name. What I am assigning here is document.myform.name.value. So in this name, somebody will enter something, right? Something, and I am going to assign the text which was entered in the name to this name variable. And same thing for the password, document.myform.password.value, right? So here I am writing uh, something for the name and password. So here what I'm writing is if name equal to null, or if name equal to empty. So if somebody don't enter anything in the name field, or if the name field is empty, then what I want to generate is I want to generate an alert message that which states that name cannot be blank. We all know this alert one. We all know the alert box, confirm box. We have already studied in HTML. So the people who don't know what is alert box and what is confirm box, please go through the video, right? So in case if the name is empty or if there is nothing in the name field, then we are going to generate an alert message which is stating that the name cannot be blank. And in case of password, we are checking the length of the password. If the length of the password is less than 6, we are going to give an alert message which states that password must be at least 6 characters long. So this is the code what I want to include in the validate form function. So in case if the name field is empty or if there is nothing in the name field, it will raise an alert that the name cannot be blank. And in case if the password is less than 6 characters, then it will give an alert message that which states that password must be at least 6 characters long. So I'm going to close the script tag and I'm going to open the body tag. So we all know if we want to create a form in HTML, we need to use this form tag. I think I have closed this form tag twice, right? So in order to write some forms in HTML, we need to use the form tag, and these are the attributes of the form tag. Name equal to my form. So this is what we have mentioned here. We are referring this form with my form, right? And then method equal to post. That means we are going to post some data to the server, right? And then action. What the action we want to perform, right? What the action we want to perform when we get the perfect login. For example, if the username and password both are satisfying this form, then what is the action we want to perform? So I want to perform an action that it will open an image which was in F drive, which was in iPhone, which was in 100 Apple, and which was the name of the image was mm1.jpg. So here what I am going to check is the name should not be empty and the password should be greater than 6 characters. So in such case, if the name and the password both are correct, then it will open this particular image over the web page. So that should be given to the action attribute of the form tag. So if everything is okay inside the form, so this action will be performed. What is the action? The action is it will open an image in the from over my computers, and on submit equal to return validate form. So whenever the form is submitted, we are going to return the validate form, right? And next one, here I am going to create two things. It is a label, and a label, the type of the label will be text in the sense that everything which we enter will be displayed in that field. And next one is a password, which means everything we enter will be displayed in dots, right? And next one, I'm going to create an input button where the button type is submit and value equal to register. So here what will happen is over the output screen, right? I will show, right, drawing something here, right? Over the output screen, for example, if this is the if this is the output screen, right? Here name will be printed, and after the name we will have a box which is called as a name field. So we can enter any text and the text will be displayed over the web page, right? On the text will be displayed on the field, and here there will be a label called as password, and after the password label there will be one field in which we can enter some password. All the things which we enter in this password will be in dots, right? In dots, and under that one there will be one button, right? There will be one button, right? On the button we will have something called as register. So we need to enter some name and password here. We need to enter some name, and that name should not be null. Should not be null in the sense the name should not be blank. And we need to enter a password, and that password should satisfy this condition. The password should not be less than 6. So if both these conditions are satisfied, then we can make a click on this register button. And when we make a click on this register button, this action will be performed over the web page. Right, this action will be performed. So the mm1.jpg which was in a F drive will get opened on the web page. Right. So this is expected output of this code. So let us verify this code will work or not. Right. So I have already saved this code with the do2.html. So before going to see the output of this do2.html, let us see what is this image mm1.jpg. What is this image, and let us verify the output of this code. So we have to go through this particular address. So let us start with F drive and iPhone and 100 Apple. And here I want to see mm1.jpg. So this is the image what I have kept there. This is the image what I have kept the address on the web page, right? So let us see, right? Let us see whether it will open this particular image when somebody have entered name and somebody has entered the password which is greater than 6 characters length, right? So now we want to open this do2.html, right? Simply we can replace this address with the do2.html, do2.html. And just a second, I have saved this code. It is do2.html. I just opened, right? I just opened the thing, and you can observe here. You can compare both the things. You can compare the program and the output which you are seeing on the screen. Let us compare these two things. Right, see here. So this is the output of these two lines. I just kept side by side, right? So this is the output of this first line, and this is the output of this 19th line. So that is first line. First one is the output of the 18th line. Second one is the output of the 19th line, and the third one is the output of the 20th line. Right. So now let us have a look at how this form validation will work. For example, I try to make a click on this register button. So when I try to make a click on the register button, it is showing that the name cannot be blank. Why we are getting this one? In the sense we have written something here. We have written name equal to null or name equal to empty. It has to generate an alert box, and this is the output of this particular code. Right now it is saying that name cannot be blank. So let us try the things by giving some name. So I am giving my name here, and then I am going to press on this register button, which is saying that the password must be at least 6 characters long. So why we are getting this alert box? In the sense we have written one more condition here, password.length less than 6. In case if the password.length less than 6, it will display some text called as password must be at least 6 characters long. So that is the output of this particular code. So here, instead of checking with the server on the HTML side only, we are verifying, we are validating the form. So for example, let us see what will happen if I give a password called as 1234. I have given 1234 password. You can see here. right? Now I am pressing on register, even though I am getting the same condition, because we need to provide the password with 6 characters long. So I am providing 2 more characters, 5 and 6. So we have now 6 characters. Now I am pressing on register button, right? If I make a click on the register button, right? If you make a click on the register button, what is the thing we want to happen on the output screen? In the sense, it will be performed. It is the action which will be performed when I make a click on the register button. So the image will be opened, right? So let us verify whether this one will give you the required output or not. So I'm making a click on this register button. You can find here, it has opened the image on our web page. So when the image was opened, it was opened when the name was not empty. It was opened when the given password was not less than 6 characters. Right? This is how we can validate form. We can also validate whether the thing which was in the form is a number or a symbols or names, etc. Right? So please practice the programs on validating forms, not only depending upon length, not only null. You can also practice whether the filled form contains all the numbers in case of phone number, or in case of mail ID. We need to have at the end, we need to have at least @gmail.com or @yahoo.com, something like that, right? So please practice the things on validating forms. There you get a great knowledge how we can write JavaScript code in order to validate forms. It is very important. So a lot of web developers use this JavaScript. As I said earlier in the slide also, many of the web browsers are using this JavaScript for form validations, right? Let us see the next one. Right, with this, let us close today's session. I'm going to close today's session with this. So in the next session, we are going to see about regular expression and how to define a regular expression, and what are the different methods which are used to define, which are used for this regular expression. So regular expression in the sense, we are going to give one text and we are going to search our required word in that text. So there are many things in that regular expression we will discuss in the next section. So the people who are having any doubts regarding today's session, they can have a comment in the comment box of this video. And I really thank each and every listener of this video for being here and listening my entire lecture. I hope you all got satisfied with the things what we have discussed so far today. So in the next session, we will meet with the regular expression, how the regular expressions and how pattern matching is done by using JavaScript, right? And thank you for being here, and we will meet you in the next session.